India is poised to take its rightful place in the new world order. We keep hearing about the 8.5% growth that is expected this year, and along with that, the question often comes up that is India really ready from within to take that place? And very often, it seems that another popular notion that gets thrown in is that it's policy that sometimes actually impedes that ascendance. The question then comes in about how India is going to really get there. And along with that, you're not just talking about India itself, but it's like a model or an example for certain emerging economies around the world too, where you have to then say that, all right, will this rush of reform really come in? Will we see the kind of economic change we're talking about? And therein lies, of course, our larger topic, which is public good versus private profit. Can the two mutually coexist? Well, that's what we plan to find out today. So joining us right now on this discussion on NDTV as well is Mr. Harry Dhaul, of course. We all know him as the man who heads the PI. Also with us here today is Dr. Pramod Deo. He's the chairperson of the Central Electricity Regulatory Commission. And also joining us on this panel is Damitha Kumarasinghe, Director General Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka. I want to start, now of course there can be lots of debate on what public good really is, but let me throw this question at each of you, and I'll start with you, Dr. Deo. Who gets to decide what is public good? I mean, there is one definition of public good which perhaps can be up for debate, but then is it solely the government who gets to just come in and decide what public good is?
We are talking about regulation. In the context of regulation, when we talk about infrastructure sector, we're talking about the infrastructure services. Coming to specific electricity, what we are looking at is not monopolies, because monopolies is something are bad. We have to have competition. And that's why the electricity law aims at competition. And I can tell you my experience of regulation of 9 years. When it comes to monopolies, whether it's private or public, they are equally not in the interest of consumer. That's why the issue comes in, how do you really bring in competition? Then only you can deliver services at affordable rate and efficient services to consumer. That is really the issue. We are not talking about whether public sector means government is bad or the private, unless they can deliver those services. And you have to have that environment where you create that kind of a structure where they face that competition. Now, in fact, one of the criticisms of Delhi model has been that after all, you have given these areas to 3 monopolies again. So how is that? But there the answer lies is that once you have cheaper electricity available, many of these consumers will switch over. And that will put pressure on the existing utilities to perform even better. Otherwise, we are operating under cost plus regulation, where we have got a multi-year tariff, which means we are giving a trajectory and saying how you would move. That is the first step. But when we really talk of competition and choice, that only delivers the services. So I think that is the main point.
Well, that's the ideal, Mr. Dhaul. That's not how it always goes on the ground, right?
I know. I just want to sort of add to what he's just said.
Yeah.
You know, we did a small study at IBPI. There are power cuts happening around Delhi. And we focused on Gurgaon to start with. And we found that the building, when it's built, the building has a captive power station, a small DG set. And what began to happen is something very interesting. Now look what happens to the consumer. The electricity board has their own power cuts, okay, which can range anything between a minute to about 12 hours or 16 hours. You know that, right? So what happens is the developer or the promoter of the building has a stake in this DG set. So what he does is every time the price of diesel goes up, he charges the consumers X by Z, sends out an inflated bill. When the diesel price goes down, he does nothing, right? So then somebody went and petitioned the regulators, and the regulators came out with an order that you cannot charge more than the state tariff to your consumer. Very, very fantastic, good, fair order in public interest. Now what happens is, if the developer follows that ruling of the regulator, he cannot supply power because the cost of diesel is 9 rupees a
Much
unit.
higher.
So he's going to be insane to supply that power. So what he does, he says electricity charge 494, service charge is $5 or $6. You see, now this is how we are functioning. Now I would go to the regulator and say, boss, allow them to go and buy power from wherever they want, exactly what Dr. Deo said. But it doesn't work like that. Why? Because when you go from that particular cluster of buildings to the substation GE is sitting there, he's saying, listen, I got my orders from SLDC, I switch off for 2 hours, that's the end of it.
Yeah.
Now, if he's going to buy power from outside, how is he going to supply power to that building or that cluster? Because he'll switch off the power, right? So there has to be a mechanism where if
Physically.
power... Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So there has to be a mechanism where, at least to start with, where there are separate feeders and the entire feeder is being supplied by an outside source during those hours, there should be a regulation in place. So we have to find innovative ways to sort out the consumer's problem. In the last 4 days, everybody has conceded, everybody else has a say except the consumer.
You know, the interesting thing here is that everything that's been spoken so far, while specific to the power space, in many ways applies to lots of other sectors where you see similar problems, and including, the shining star, telecom, which is now starting to see problems. Mr. Kumar Singh, very different scenario or somewhat similar scenario in Sri Lanka as well?
Sri Lanka is, of course, in a very similar scenario. To come before that, I would like to shed some of my thoughts on this public good and why we call electricity or pipe-borne water a public good and not call rice or sugar or dal, which all of us consumes. We don't classify those as public goods, but something which all of us not consuming, electricity or pipe-borne water, are classified as public goods. Why is that? In my thinking is that there is a monopolistic element in those sectors. Plus, a very important thing, until very recently, almost all the investments on these sectors were made by the government. And the sectors are very investment intensive. So those factors made electricity, water sectors concerned as public goods. With that, the concept of private profit. Now, if you go to the other sectors, other areas such as, let's say, rice business or dal or sugar business, all done by the private parties, but you don't call it a private profit as such. I think here what we are meaning is a monopolistic profit.